Now at 6, first came the tragedy.
You feel it in your heart and you feel it in your bones, and it was super bone chilling.
Now comes the alarming fallout, the disturbing trend in the aftermath of a Clark County murder-suicide. Plus, a shootout, car chase, and wild trail of destruction left behind in North Portland. And
we don't like being last as far as young people getting help.
Starting from the bottom with a vision toward the top, the new effort to take on mental health issues among Oregon students. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers. We begin tonight with continuing coverage of a tragic story in Clark County and a murder-suicide that left 5 dead. But it's also what's happening in the days after this incident that are really concerning. Alma McCarty joins us live in Vancouver, looking at a recent rise in calls for help. Alma.
Yeah, Brittany, I'm here at the YWCA Clark County, where they've told me that typically they get 23 calls a day to their domestic violence hotline. That's on average, but over the last 4 days, that number has risen 50%. More people inquiring about services and support. On Sunday, December 3rd, Clark County deputies were called to a home in the Orchards area for a welfare check. Inside, investigators found 5 people were dead in an apparent murder-suicide.
And we know that domestic violence has no bounds. It can be any gender, it can be any race, it can be any financial situation, it can be any familial situation.
The sheriff's office now believes 64-year-old Stuart Rouse killed his wife, Christina, his brother, Ronald, and his 2 adult daughters, 33-year-old Christina and 19-year-old Melissa, before turning the gun on himself. Neighbors who watched the crime scene unfold say they were shocked and saddened.
You feel it in your heart and you feel it in your bones, and it was super bone chilling, and we all just kind of looked at each other and were like, man, this isn't good.
In the days that followed, YWCA Clark County saw what they called an alarming escalation in calls.
Between Monday and Thursday, we saw an increase to 38 calls a day, so that's about a 50% increase in people reaching out for support.
CEO Brittany Lesane explains after such a horrific incident, some reflect on their own situation or that of a loved one.
So they take that step to reach out because they realize that it could have been them, and they want to try and find safety before something larger happens.
She says the holiday season can be an additional stressor, and they've historically seen a rise in domestic violence cases and calls during this time of year.
It was just a year and 1 day ago that we had a domestic violence incident of a man who murdered his baby and shot his wife. And this year we've seen 10 homicides in our community, and we as a community are grappling with that. It's senseless violence, and we want to protect our community and find a solution so that we're not seeing this happen anymore.
Because they've dealt with this increase in calls, YWCA wants folks to consider a couple of things. First, recognizing the signs of domestic abuse, domestic violence. They have a list up on the YWCA Clark County website. They are also hoping that people will consider financially donating this time of year to their organization or similar organizations so they can help as many people as possible with things like shelter and housing, help with protection orders, and safety planning. Live in Vancouver, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
So important to know that help and resources are out there. Alma, thank you so much. Well, let's turn now to some of your other headlines. Portland police are still looking for a suspect from a car shootout and chase from this morning. They say people in 2 vehicles shot at each other by North Lombard and Hearst. The drivers then chased each other and crashed in Northeast Portland. One was taken to the hospital. The other is on the run. A telephone pole and other cars were also damaged during the chase. In Longview, police are investigating a homicide. The body of a man was found this morning in a parking lot behind Superior Tire. That's a tire shop in town. Details are scarce beyond that, but police say that they are working several leads. We'll, of course, update you when we learn more. And it's a record fentanyl bust in Multnomah County. Investigators seized enough of the drug to make 11 million doses. Inside a home in Portland, detectives say they found 52 pounds of powdered fentanyl. They say they found 8,000 fentanyl pills in a second connected home in Oregon City. 3 people have been arrested. This is the result of a months-long investigation. After a 4-month-long investigation, Portland police have arrested a suspect in a hatchet attack. 32-year-old Joseph Chastain was taken into custody yesterday. It happened back on August 12th in southeast Portland. That's when police say Chastain chased and attacked another man with an axe. The victim suffered a severe leg injury. Police say Chastain had followed the other man after a road rage incident. Many Multnomah County library workers say they don't feel safe on the job. That's according to a recent county audit. The report noted that people with housing and mental health crises are turning to libraries, which just aren't equipped to meet their needs. Auditors say they spoke with staff members who were threatened with knives or had to respond to drug overdoses.
I feel stressed because I have to see people who are living on the edge, and we don't have enough services to refer people to.
The audit recommends that the library strengthen security and increase staffing. The library says they plan to follow recommendations. Library staff say the county also needs more day shelters to give people other places to go. ODOT is warning any travelers passing through the mountains on both sides of Portland to be prepared this weekend. In the Coast Range heading west and around the coast in general, drivers need to watch out for landslides and debris after all this recent wet weather. Then there's snow in the Cascades to the east this weekend. Drivers are, of course, urged to carry those chains and have supplies in your car so that you're ready for delays. Also, be sure to slow down and just move over for those highway workers dealing with the road issues.
Yeah, after that warm, rainy weather at the beginning of the week, it is back to winter in the Cascades. This is live from Timberline, where the temperature is a cool 19 degrees. And since the rain turned back to snow Wednesday night, 14 inches of new snow, and the passes are snow covered. Government Camp, Santiam Pass, Willamette Pass, all the mountain passes over the Cascades have snow on the roads, temperatures below freezing. So be aware and heed the warnings that Brittany was just telling you about. In fact, I can show you those passes. This is from Government Camp. You can see it's 28 degrees. We've got fog and ice on the roads at Santiam Pass and down at Willamette Pass, showing some black pavement, but a mix of black pavement and still snow on the road there too. So again, the passes are snowy as they usually are in December, right? Now we've got a few more inches of snow coming our way before it warms up again, but tomorrow is opening day at Mount Hood Meadows, and it's going to be a good opening because it'll be snowing throughout the day. So looking pretty good. There are winter weather advisories in the Cascades of Washington, but not Oregon. They're going to get more snow and it'll stay a little bit colder, a little bit longer up there, hence the warnings there, but not here, although we could get close to that here in the Portland area. So we have a dry night on the way. Rain sets in Saturday in the valleys. This is going to be a soggy weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. But there are dry days ahead, a lot of them. We'll show you in the 7-day forecast, Brittany.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. Well, listen to this. Some financial help is on the way to give Oregon students more mental health support. A new Medicaid program will help districts pay for services. Oregon's senior Senator Ron Wyden pushed for this, and he visited some Portland schools just today to talk about the benefits. Here's Tim Gordon.
U.S. Senator Ron Wyden made his way into the library at Oliver Middle School in the Centennial District in southeast Portland. Greeted by school officials and a group of students in the audience, the first thing Wyden did was acknowledge kids in Oregon need more mental health care, citing a study that says we're the worst.
We don't like being last as far as young people getting help when they're dealing with mental health challenges.
He then touted a new program he pushed for as chairman of the powerful Senate Finance Committee. It makes Medicaid reimbursement dollars available to districts to pay for mental health care for students.
And I said, I got to do something about it.
The Medicaid help is meant for schools and communities where many families don't have much, where health care, including mental health care, is not a given. Student body president Sophia Vargas took the stage with Wyden. Then she told us the challenges are real for many students, especially after coming out of the pandemic learning years.
And I think now of all times is a very important time for us to, take a step back and go, hey, our mental health is important. It's important that we don't lose ourselves in the academics.
The Centennial School District has a team dedicated to social work, but it's not enough to deal with the amount of help students require.
This new federal flexibility will really help us invest in the services that we know our students need, and we're really excited to take advantage of this opportunity.
Wyden says he's getting the word out about the opportunity for schools in underserved communities across the state, where mental health care may seem out of reach.
This is a commitment to serve people who are walking an economic, tightrope. That's the people who benefit from this. These are the people who every single week are balancing the food bill against the fuel bill and the fuel bill against the rent bill.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
A partial solution to our homeless crisis is coming to Hillsborough. The city is getting ready to open the second Safe Rest Pod Village in Washington County, and this one will be open year-round. Daisy Caballero joins us in studio after getting a sneak peek of the village. Daisy.
Yeah, Brittany, the site is located off Southwest 17th Avenue in Hillsborough, right next to the Winco off Oak Street. It will be run by Open Door Housing Work, a nonprofit with a goal of connecting the unhoused with shelter and other resources. The site has a total of 30 pallet homes. 10 will be used for couples. That means 40 people will be able to stay here at full capacity. They will welcome folks on a referral basis program like most shelters, but unlike other Safe Rest villages in Portland, every home here will have air conditioners and heating to keep up with the climate year-round. This is something Open Door Executive Director Jeremy Taves says was intentional, and they hope this will attract the homeless community even more.
There's a lot of different initiatives that we're working on, and this is the first step in people working towards housing. But while they're here, we're caring for them and helping them get access to permanent supportive housing or affordable housing, and then that's just the beginning step of so many great things for them.
Yeah, and Taves says they will be providing warm meals, access to showers, and case resources starting Monday. He also thanks Governor Tina Kotek, who was at the event today, and adds her homelessness emergency executive order is what funded these homes. We're also told the site will officially open up for people on Monday. They're expected to see anywhere between 5 to 10 people move in next week. Brittany?
All right, Daisy, thanks for that update.